Vietnamese, there's pho. So guess what? Like in Ubud Valley, right? Vietnamese pho has taken on this delicate taste. Served with fresh snow peas and a wedge of lime and no other garnish to speak of, except for a sprig of this amazing spicy and fragrant basil. It's a delight, especially when the waitress blesses the soup with a white orchid to enhance the spirit of the broth. Oh yeah, well listen, I happen to be in the outskirts of Sydney, see, and I read about this museum that was putting up an I Heart Pho exhibition, right? It took me a second to realize that it was an exhibition about our soup. Can you believe it? So I went, of course, I mean, they serve pho inside a museum. And there's all these lecturers and shit. Then I turned and I ran into my teacher from Lake Rideau. Can you believe it? Of course, we ate pho together. So far from Saigon. And there we were, teacher and student, sitting on a bench in a museum, slurping, laughing, just like the old time, except for we were not a continent. Well, did you hear about a story about a pho place in a colony in Antarctica? This Vietnamese woman, right? She's married to a scientist and they live there, and among the tundra and glaciers and penguins, well, she grew bored. So one really cold morning, guess what she decided to make? Yeah. Enter the word pho soup these days and you get tens of thousands of hits. From Wikipedia to various authors giving recipes and waxing adulations to providing reviews and writing scholarship papers on the soup's origin. And the Campbell Soup Company took it mainstream in 2002 by canning the broth and aiming it at mainstream eateries. Even the Food Network has chefs teaching its audience how to make pho. There is even a new word for it, full man's. According to the New York Times, quick search will find that it's used in two wildly different contexts. There's the jocular use describing an overly close emotional relationship with Vietnamese food, which is often accompanied by cell phone photos of the dish in question. Have broth, will travel. So here's mine. I was young then, barely out of college. While backpacking through Europe, I was invited to an excursion by a friend from Berkeley, my alma mater, who knew someone who lived in a castle in Belgium. It's a surprise, she told me, and said nothing more. We got off a train in the middle of nowhere, north of Brussels, and we walked for half an hour. We passed pastures and ranches, and then we entered a wood. Then there was a castle with its drawbridge across the moat. There were Roman statues on the lawn. I remember stopping on the drawbridge and sniffed. I hadn't expected it, but there was that complex aroma wafted in the air. Cinnamon and fish sauce and star anise and beef broth. Someone was making pho. In that summer afternoon, standing over a moat with my friend ahead beckoning me to enter the castle, that sweet aroma seems to have flown across several continents. Smelling it, I had something close to an out-of-body experience. I followed my friend down the stone steps to an enormous kitchen, one that could easily fit 30 chefs. At its far end stood an elegant Asian woman in her mid-30s. She greeted us with a gracious smile and she spoke Vietnamese. There you are. I've been waiting and waiting. I thought the two of you got lost in the woods. As she fed us her pho soup, she told me her story. Once a high school teacher in Saigon, she lost her job after the war. One night she and her sister fled in a crowded boat out to sea. A merchant vessel picked everyone up and brought the lot back to Belgium. Impoverished, she and her sister resorted to living in the basement of a church in the town outside of Brussels. One day, a local baron who had hoped to become a priest saw her while praying in church. They looked at each other. He fell instantly in love. She was hesitant, but they married. Now the mother of 2 children of noble blood, she would sometimes catch glimpses of herself as she glided past the gilded mirrors along the old castle's corridors and shudder, wondering, who is that? Is that me? Other times, when entertaining European royalties, she felt as if she was on a movie set and kept waiting for the director to yell, "Cut!" Long ago in Dallas, Vietnam, I would wake up on the weekend with that exquisite aroma of pho permeating throughout our villa on a wind-blown hill surrounded by pine trees. Downstairs in my mother's kitchen, the clattering sounds of dishes and bowls and chopsticks will welcome music to the ear. Serenity in the salty dawn. I close my eyes and in spite of the years, I can still hear it. Mother singing softly downstairs, the ladles clattered against the pots and pans, and the steady chopping sounds of the cleaver on the worn wooden block. That insular world has irreparably changed and can only be had now in the recalling. So many of us have scattered, but I take comfort in knowing that that delectable pho aroma too has drifted across the world.